when Beck called up to the Wales squad, just, how happy are you to see, the fruits of his performances?
Delighted about that, absolutely delighted. Delighted for the player, first and foremost. And I think we have to say that huge credit goes to him. It's a really successful partnership in terms of a loan. That's what you're looking for. When young players come to us, for example, Owen from Liverpool, it's, we work hard as a staff, and I've got to really credit the staff, Stuart, Scott, Alan Coleman and Matty, for the amount of work goes on behind the scenes. And I'm sure Owen would say that as well, because it's our job, their parent club sends them to us, and it's our job at Dundee Football Club to develop that footballer, because it obviously benefits us as a team. But absolutely delighted for young Owen, and he's thoroughly deserving of the call-up that he's got. And knowing the individual, it'll not affect him, it'll just make him go more and more and push harder and harder to get himself where his performance deserves to be.
And, in terms of recruiting players, is that something you spoke about to the guys that were coming in and told them, sold them on the idea of the knee and get into your national team?
Absolutely, yeah, that is. Young player, that's what they come up for. We've got other ones in the building. We've got Ryan Howley, Malachy Boateng, Marcel Lewis, amongst others. That, yes, of course, when they're coming up here, it's to benefit Dundee Football Club, of course, that we're getting good players in the building. But for those young, talented players, there's got to be real motivation, to come here. And that's the motivation to get in our team, first and foremost, to help us as a team progress in the league, and then to gain recognition for yourself. And I don't think we can leave, the young, talented Scottish footballers that I've got in here as well, that I've always spoke about, your Josh Mulligans, Lyle Cameron's, Finn Robertsons, etc. So combine that young, hungry bunch together, they make for a winning team.
And just a final one for myself, obviously Antonio Portales came back into the side after his injury. Obviously your side kept a clean sheet. Just how happy are you with his rehab and then coming straight into the team?
Really pleased, and again, getting back to what you mentioned, it's real testament to him. In terms of his rehabilitation, I've never seen any player work so hard. He'd putting in extra sessions and making sure that, in terms of mentality wise, Tony's really strong. So it's no surprise to us as a staff to see that he went straight in and played 90 minutes right away, because we've seen the work he does behind the scenes, and just again delighted for him that he's getting his rewards. He played his part, more than his part, in a clean sheet at Hibs, but his actual recovery from the injury has been outstanding, and that's due to the type of person he is.
You've spoken about the benefits of the loan system and young players coming into Dundee. What about the other way, where the young players who are at Dundee are out on loan? How are they doing, and what reports are back about them?
Listen, they're doing well, and we're in constant, they're Dundee players, so we're in constant consultation with them, see how they're doing. So young Max Anderson, for example, doing well at Inverness. They got their first win at the weekend. Tyler out. Sean Burns doing really well at Wraith Rovers as well. So it's important, it's a process. You've got a lot of players, and it's important in terms of every player you help try and develop. Now, be that in your own team, be that from a parent club, be it going out and going on loan with other teams. It's important you keep that focus, and more importantly, it's important that the player sees that. So yeah, all the ones that are out are doing well. So we'll constantly monitor that and keep an eye on things.
And looking at the game for the weekend when Ross County come to Dens Park, is there particular areas that you think are going to cause you concern from Ross County?
Ross County are a very competitive team. As I say, they've got real strength and depth. I think there's a real physicality about them. I think all of Malky's teams display that, and that competitive element. So we need to be our best. We know that. We've looked at them quite a lot this week. We've looked at their previous games, and we know that there's a team coming down here that, as I say, we're in the same amount of points. There's just goal difference separating us. So I can guarantee it'll be a competitive match, because that's what the manager always demands.
And I think currently it's 4 teams on 7 points, 3 on 8 and 2 on 10. It's a really, really tight, compact league. You could be 1 week in 10th, the next week in 3rd.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's why I focus very much on performance, because I think if you get the consistency of performance, I'm a believer that the points will follow with that. So I don't really get too hung up on the league table until we've played a round of games. But where we are now, certainly it would look a lot healthier if we were to get that home win on Saturday. But where we are now, as I say, there's only St Mirren and Celtic that have beat us both away from home, and they're sitting first and second in the league. So as we keep going, we'll monitor how well we're doing. We'll make sure our development, our performance, is up to a level that hopefully will warrant us getting points.
Looking at the league as general term, 7 games gone, first casualty to take place. How much pressure does the league create for managers if after 7 games somebody's gone already?
It's difficult. You don't like seeing anybody losing their job. Obviously you don't like, but add to that, you said 1, there's 2 now, because obviously Hibs as well. So people that say it's the nature of the game, we work. Everybody works, the staff, the players, for a Saturday match, 90 minutes, and there's so much happens as a result of that. But you're aware of that. Football, it's a professional sport, so you're aware of that when you get into it. But you know, as long as the league stays competitive, you know, it creates so much. It's a brilliant league we've got here in Scotland. I think we've got really good teams, good managers, good coaches, good players. So for me, I like bigging up it, you know, so that's what I'll continue to do. And I feel sorry for any manager that loses their job, but we go on.
Looking forward to another big game coming up this weekend. Good result last week. What can you take out of last week into this week?
Yeah, it was good. I think it's just good again for us to prove to ourselves that we can compete at this level. Obviously, Hibs are a really good side on a good bit of form, so to go there and get a good result was good. But obviously, we could have won in the end, but they had chances as well. But no, still a good result. But yeah, looking forward to this weekend.
And being back at Dens Park, how much of a difference does that make to you?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. We had quite a good support this season. A lot of people coming to the games and getting behind us, so we just need to continue that. Hopefully, the fans are behind us from the start because of our performance away to Hibs. So hopefully, it'll be good.
And how do you reflect upon the season so far? You've had a very good run to start with, obviously. How do you reflect on that so far this season?
There's a lot of positives to take. Obviously, the main thing was competing early, like getting some points on the board early, and we've done that. So I think we just need to keep believing in ourselves and add a few more wins. Obviously, we've had quite a few draws, a couple of games we should have won that we never. But that just shows that we are competing at this level.
And you know, obviously you mentioned that performance against Hibs, but you know, to go to Easter Road, you know, a difficult venue, they've also, you know, got a very potent attack at the moment, and to keep a clean sheet and they've almost won the game, I suppose. Yeah, how much confidence do you take out of a result like that?
Yeah, a lot. Like I said, a really strong team on a good bit of form with the new manager. So I think it was a very solid performance from the whole team. We stuck to the game plan really well. We had a good support through there, so it was just a good day in general. Getting the 3 points would have been a wee bit better, but it was still good just to compete against a good team and almost beat them.
And looking ahead to Ross County this weekend, just what are you expecting from them?
They'll be well organised. They're a good side. Obviously, they've had a decent start as well, so it's a big game. Obviously, we're at home, so we should have that advantage behind us. But I think it's a big game for both teams to try and get another win on the board.
And just looking at the table right now, it's so incredibly tight in the kind of the middle part. Just how important is it when you're playing against a team like Ross County, you're right there beside you in the league, to try and build a little bit of a gap and distance between yourselves?
It's just, you want to get as many points on the board as early as you can, just so later on in the season you're not scrapping for wins at the end. So if you can kind of get out of the relegation zone early and distance yourself from that pack at the bottom, then you can aim for top six, and I don't see why we shouldn't be doing that.